Assalamualaikum and very good morning. For Muslim, can we start with Kitab Al-Fatihah? Bismillah. Okay, guys, how are you?
Good, not good.
Good, Alhamdulillah. Okay, today we will try to finish chapter 3. Okay, and after that, we have some time, then we can discuss about your assignment and also probably your test 1. Is it okay? Right.
Okay.
All right. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know after this, right? When we have time, I try to go through all the chapter 3 as fast as possible, and yeah, try to finish this. Okay, uh, allow me to record this. Bismillah. Okay, guys, we already learned about inspection, right? So we have learned about who uh, is responsible to what task, right? The role, moderator, the reader, and also the uh, presenter or author. And we have inspector. We have manager. That is involved, should be involved in the group, right? In the team inspection team. Okay, now we want to know the type of inspection, right? So producer and manager need to make choice. So they what the terms, the thing that they have to consider, right? They have to consider before they want to pick or they want to select which module or which document that they want to do the inspection, right? They want to perform the inspection. So producer and manager have to make choice, right? So they have to see whether this is some a consideration in order to do inspection of a work product or a software product, that is the criticality of the product function, right? Is it the product critical or not? If it is really critical, then it should be inspected, right? But it is based on the producer or the one who developed the product and also the manager of the project, right? They have to decide whether this is the critical or not, and this criticality of that function need to be inspected or not, right? The second thing is the complexity of the module, right? So okay, for example, for the critical, right? For the critical is something like normal. My normal example is my common example is something like a braking system. That one is really critical, right? So that critical function need to be inspected, right? So, for example, other thing that is not really critical, something like the wiper system, that one is not really critical. That it should be something like only a testing, final testing. But for those who are really critical, that involve human life, involve uh, what call that, involve a lot of money and so on, and then that one should be inspected, right? The one that I mentioned to you before, the braking system, that one is really critical, should be inspected by other people, right? By an inspection team, right? Complex module, right? Complex module also can be an indicator of some function need to be inspected, right? For complexity, what do you know about complexity, guys? What do you think about complexity modules?
A lot of features or components.
Yes, good. A lot of features, a lot of components. Other than that,
levels,
Sorry,
maybe like system levels.
system level. No, we no. Has it? Some indicators of complexity. How do you determine a a module is a complex module?
Functions.
Function, yes, as Haziq mentioned before, yeah, a lot of functionality of that module, or that module have a lot of function. Yes, functionality is one of the what we call that an indicator. Other than that, this is just open your mind. Just uh, some open-ended question. You can give any uh, that you think. LOC, line of code. Thank you, Hanif. Yeah, if the module have a big amount of code there, so it is, yeah, can be a complex module. Thank you, Hanif. Haliza mentioned about many features. Yes, some same with Sean Lang and also Haziq. Expensive. Yes, it's expensive, but expensive is a bit yeah, uh, some function may be expensive, but sometimes it's not complex. But sometimes yes, yeah, halfly correct. Yes, Anis.
Maybe it has dependency.
Yes, thank you very much, Anis. Yeah, a lot of dependency. Yes, that one is correct. Normally, we will for me first at first the complexity. I would like to see the dependency of the module. If the module have a lot of dependency, then the complexity will be a bit high, right? So because that module probably serve some information to other module, or the module also can take some other modules, other information from other modules. So it is will be a bit complex because sometimes a lot of dependency. If this module have a problem, have a lot of defect, then it will affect another module because of the dependency. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so and then another consideration is modules that have been problematic in the past. So in the past, the module is already have some problem. This is happen when you upgrade from one version to another, right? So you have a version two of probably uh, student registration system. Okay, student registration system. Then you want to build a new one, right? Version 3. And then this version 3 is totally different than version 2, meaning totally different, meaning that it's a new development. It is not enhancement. It is a new development. Enhancement, but it's a new development, new what call that new project, something like that. But it is version 3. And then we know that we carry on some of the module, meaning that some of the what call it setup of the module to the version 3. And then we have an experience from module A, module B, and module C. This is three modules that have a lot of problems. And then when we go to the version number 3, the new version, and then we will do some what call that focus on this version 1, version 2, version 3, and then we apply or we conduct an inspection for that. So this is some indicators, right? First indicators that it is critical, right? The module is critical. The second one, probably the module is complex, and the module is problematic. Problem, complex, and also critical. This is type of inspection, or this is some consideration or indicators that you need to do inspection in that for that module. Okay, so what uh, products that we can inspect, right? First, SRS, right? So SRS, Software Requirement Specification. And then this is not limited to SRS, right? it's not limited to requirement specification, software requirement specification, because according to 29148 ISO, requirement, they have a lot of documentation. You can have business requirement specification, right? What is the business needs of the software itself? Then you can have a user requirement specification, or URS. This is what the user want to have for the system, right? For the software. And then you have software requirement specification. Normally, software requirement specification, after you do the BRS or URS or both, if you have that one, then you make a software requirement specification, what should be in the software. So these three products, you can have an inspection of it. And then different product have a different type of inspection, because different focus. So requirement here, it is SRS, and as I mentioned to you before, it is not only SRS, it can be URS and also PRS. Okay. Then after that, you can also have inspection on software design, right? So for SRS, the inspection training performed, right? Product concept, right? As we review and approve. So before you want to do the inspection, this is the thing that you need to provide, right? So the inspector need to be trained, right? And then the product concept and document that precede the SRS has been reviewed. The product itself has been reviewed by the product owner or producer, right? He already do the review. It's not something that I give you SRS, I finish my SRS, okay, do inspection. No, that one is not really the thing that you need to do, right? For the for inspection. The inspection is something that a finished product, and it should be reviewed first by the producer, and then after that hand over to us as an inspector. Then we do the inspection. We are complementing their assessment, not we are doing the assessment of the product, right? They have to do it first. Okay, so material required for inspection team, that it is SRS, the product concept specification, right? Or the document that precede the SRS, as I mentioned to you. For example, the URS and also the BRS, and also the requirement checklist. Okay, you have to have a checklist first, right? In order to check the document, you need to have a checklist of what you want to inspect, right? For example, for SRS, you need to see whether the requirement have something like identification of ID of requirement. You need to see all the things, right? And then you have to make more specific about checklist. What this requirement fulfill unambiguous, complete, and so on, right? So I will discuss this later a bit for next slides. Okay. So the next is design. So the SDD. So if you want to do this, so you need to have the inspection training, and then SRS has been inspected and all outstanding issue has been resolved. Because SDD, the input of SDD, the one that we want to refer of the SDD is based on the SRS. So the SRS should be finished, right? It is not in development. It should be finished, and it should be approved and also signed by the person have authority, right? For example, the product owner sign, the project manager sign, saying that this SRS is already completed, right? So then we can do the SDD. We can do the inspection of SDD, because it's useless if SDD is finished, but SRS is still in development, still in changing. So that one we cannot do inspection, because yeah, it is uncertainty, right? And then the level of changes is really high. Okay, so we need to have something like confirm this is the SRS, then we can do the SDD inspection, because we will refer to the SRS. Okay, guys. Next is code, source code. So in source code, our input or our reference is the SSDD. So it should be SDD should be inspected, and all outstanding issue has been resolved, and module selected for inspection uh, defined criteria, and then source code has been compiled with no errors, right? And as usual, the inspector need to be trained. Okay, so it is not something like the inspector when get the job, then okay, what we need to do, we go this one first, they want this one first. No, when the inspector get the job, then they know what to do, right? They get their source code, they get the checklist, they get all the things, and then just do it. It is not something that, okay, I get this one. Oh, I don't know what to do this, and then I need to go to the training. I need to go to here and there, yeah, to know how to do that. So it is not something like that. It's just if the inspector is ready, already trained and so on, then you can go. Okay, and then this is the thing that you need to know, right? You need to really understand that we are complementing the assessment or the inspection, the assessment of the software or the product, right? It is not we are doing the assessment, right? We are just complementing. That's uh, that's why we need the source code to be compiled first, right? And then with no error. It is not something that it can be compiled, but we have some error. No, the source code, the one that given to us, is already clean, meaning that already compiled and already no error there, right? Any problem have to be have solved, right? And then the one that we need to do is just do the inspection, right? All the code is written well, all the technique that they use is a good technique of a data structure, for example, right? Looping, a good looping, the usage of looping, really optimal or a high performance looping, meaning you do some one or two only. It's not three loop or nested loop or something like that, right? A lot of nested loop will slow your performance. Something. It is not towards to find the bugs and try to fix it, right? So that's why we need to have a source code that is compiled. Okay, so for this material that have to given to the guy who do the inspection is SDD and also SRS, and the line number of source code listing, and right, and then the coding checklist, right? What is the checklist that we need to do, we need to have in order to do the inspection, right? So this is the thing that we need to have. But however, this is my own experience, because sometimes it's hard to find a project that have a SRS and SDD that is updated, right? Because they finish the SRS, then after that they do the design. When they do the design, they find out there are some changes on SRS. They changes that is needed, right? They change the SR, they change the requirement, but sometimes they didn't update the SRS. Also happened to SDD when they change it, and while doing the coding, they didn't change the SDD. So that's sometimes the problem here is you get the SDD, right, and also SRS, or sorry, you get the SRS. Sorry, you got the SDD, but the SDD is not really updated one. Okay, so that's the problem. And then you need to sometimes you need to recover back the SDD, right? And then try to try to inspect it. So that's the thing. The what do you call that? The technique of reverse engineering that I mentioned to you before is probably helpful in this situation. Okay. So next is the validation test, right? So the test procedure. Oh, sorry. Again, the code, as I mentioned to you before, a good code inspection. The material that you need to have is SDD. It's not SRS, as I mentioned to you before. So it's one correction. So you need to have a line number of source code listing. The SDD and the company coding standard is the company have the standard of coding, right? The naming convention, how to standard of what do you call that? Doing some comments, all right? For every file or of every module, you have some code standard of description of the module, something like that. So this is the coding standard that you need to have from the company, and also the coding checklist, right? Checklist or what you want to see, the line of code, as Hanif mentioned, probably the number of class, right? And then the what do you call that, the dependency and so on, right? Okay, next is validation of testing, right? You need also to validate the test, right? The test procedure on how people do the test, right? And also the work product of test, right? So you have, so what is the document that normally you produce for testing, guys?
cases,
Test cases, yes, good. Hadif, yes.
test procedures,
Test procedures. The first thing that you need to come out,
Test plan.
test plan. Good, Anis, thank you. Yeah, test plan, and some people have to give the test design, right? Test design, and also the test architecture, and then the test what do you call that, the test cases, the test script, test procedure, right? Test suite, and so on, right? So this is the work product of a software that can be inspected. Okay, inspection. Inspection training performed as usual. You need to be trained, and then the SRS has been inspected and all outstanding have been resolved. So this is related to the SRS. So because normally we want to make sure that all the requirement is already there to be tested, right? So the test coverage, right? The requirement coverage that we want to have here. So but the thing that we need to do to have as a material is the SRS itself, and also the test procedure, or the test, all the test product that uh, have been developed, right? And also the test checklist, what you want to test of about the testing itself. Okay, guys, requirement inspection. So this is something that not all work product that we need to do the inspection, because sometimes some project have a really budget limited and also time limited, right? So they have to pick which work product that they have to do the inspection. So this is from Steve Rakiting, mentioned that if you can only afford to do a one inspection, if you only afford to do one inspection, the thing that you need to do is inspect the requirements, right? Because a requirement inspection should be the one inspection that is never skipped, right? Because you will get the biggest return on investment, ROI, right? A lot of business mentioned about the ROI, return on investment. The one that you invest, you get some return. And then if you want to invest on inspection, so you have to invest on the requirement inspection, because you have to make sure that all the requirement is clear. The one that user need, the one that stakeholder uh, needs, it should be documented. It should be understandable, right? It should be uh, what do you call that, as complete as it can, right? So this is the thing that you need to know, right? This the most important. Why requirement, right, guys? Why requirement? Why requirement need to be inspected? If you in your opinion, Yes, it mentioned here is biggest return on investment, but why?
Uh, Requirement uh, is just the basic component of the software.
Yes, it's a basic. That one, correct. What else? I think I have already given this answer last week a couple of times, guys.
A good requirement is what implements a function.
Again,
It is what builds the software.
no, that the one that not the one that I'm looking for. Fundamental of the project. Yes, it's fundamental of the project. But what else? Because SRAs contain the requirement from the user, stakeholder that fund the software. Yes, that one is also correct, but that not the thing that I'm looking for. Requirement will affect other. Yes, others, yes. Functional, yes. Because but requirement also have something like non-functional. And why is something like requirement inspection have biggest return on investment?
Is it to build the right product or
Build the right product.
okay,
Yes, yes, Anis, but not the one that I'm looking for.
okay.
Biggest return on investment.
Because if requirement is done right, like if they really inspect the requirements well, then and invest on it, they don't have to come back to this. Like there won't be mistakes. What do you call it? A good inspection and requirements mean that they make sure all the functions of the system is okay, all the non-functional and functional uh, requirements have been met and stuff, so that they don't miss anything
Yes.
and make mistake later on. That so it will reduce other costs like when it will reduce costs like that may occur later to find out that they made a mistake, or there is something the customer wants but it's not in the system, or the stakeholders also be very clear about everything about their funds and stuff, so it will not cause problem later.
Oh, thank you, Abida. That one is also correct. Yes, I agree that, but not the one that I'm looking for. Okay, but it's okay. So Hanif mentioned about will reduce the maintenance cost later if inspect carefully. Yes, also that one is also correct. To avoid repeated mistake before build a system. Yes, also that one is yeah, very correct. But the one that I would like to hear from you is uh error that find earlier is is cheaper than later, right? That means that's the thing that I'm looking for. The one that I've mentioned to you last week. I think it's not a couple of times, it's still a lot of times. Okay. No, uh, I just to make sure you remember that. Okay. Right. In requirements inspection. So I proceed for this, right? So attribute of good requirement, right? So you will have an unambiguous, complete, verifiable, consistent, modifiable, traceable, and it is usable, right? So this is the thing that you need to have in a requirement. So this is a checklist of requirement. Checklist. You need to have all the requirement stated. You need to see whether it is unambiguous or not, whether it is complete or not, if it is verifiable or not. Is it consistent? Mention that if you put here requirement, the system should interact with the user in 24 hours, right? And then after that, you have a third requirement mentioned that the system only available during office hours. So it is not consistent, right? Something that is a problem there. So modifiable, it can be modify and also traceable, right? You can trace and also you can it is usable. Okay. So the objective of requirement inspection, right, is every requirement traceable to the preceding document. Okay. So is every requirement clear and concise, internally consistent, unambiguous, testable, and demonstratable, right? So this is the thing that you have to look at, right? And the thing that you want to look should be, you should develop a checklist of this, right? You need to have a checklist. So every requirement that you inspect, and then you take, okay, it is concise, yes, it is clear. This then this is the checklist that we mentioned, right? We mentioned about the I mentioned about the inspection. Okay. Make sure each requirement of software requirement as of software requirement specification is consistent and also traceable to the document that precede the SRS, right? So if you have URS, okay, you have SRS, then you need to do a mapping, right, or trace this SRS is to solve which requirement of the user, right? User requirement. So you have a traceable there. You have a table that shows that this requirement is to fill this SRS. This is specific. Specification is regarding to the user, which user specification. This specification is for what, which URS and so on. So you need to have something mapping in order to have a traceability. Okay, make sure each SRS is clear, concise, internally consistent, and unambiguous, and also testable. So I think that you already learned this in requirement subject, right? Nice.
Yes, yes, doctor.
That one is in your first year, right?
Ah, yeah.
Still remember or not?
This part we remember lah.
Okay, that's good. So I think you can. This is the key thing of your assignment, right?
Yeah, yeah, true.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Anis. So requirement inspection prerequisite, meaning that the thing that you need to have before you do the requirement inspection, right? All inspection team members must receive appropriate training, as I mentioned to you before. The document that precedes SRS have been reviewed and approved, meaning that before the SRS, the URS or the BRS is already approved and already signed, right, by the authorities, meaning that probably the project director or uh, the owner of the system, right? So SRS must have been internally reviewed, as I mentioned to you before. Checklist must be available, and also the guideline of good SRS also must be available, right? So you have some reference. Okay. So this is the some phases, right? You have planning phase. You have diversity of inspector background. You need to select some inspector, right? Something like the background of people who are really good in technical in technical writing, someone have a good in grammatical, or someone have good in language and so on, right? So they are should be a jumble of people, diversified expertise in your team. Okay. Preparation phase, right? Self-study, inspector author discussion, right? So first inspector and also the author should have something like discussion. So the author probably have need to give a brief presentation, like overview and so on, right? And then also the inspector also have to do a self study, right? Get the material, read all the material, understand that. If they don't understand that, ask the author, what is this and what is this, just to make sure that they're really, really good or really, really understand the material that's given to them. Okay, so and then they do the inspection, right? In this preparation phase, they do the inspection. It is not until the inspection meeting, right? The inspection meeting is just to have some consensus between all the inspector, right? Then they present, okay, this line by line, go to line by line. The reader will go to line by line. Okay, anyone have uh, found out any defect here? Then okay, yes, yes, and yes. Okay, next, any defect here? Yes, yeah. It's not something like, do you found defect here? And then the inspector is reading there. I think yes, correctness. Yeah, it's not clear. No, it's not that. It is already you know what the result of your inspection, and then you will discuss with the other inspectors, right? So that's in the inspection meeting. Checking preparedness, discussing the discrepancy, the one that different, right? I say that it's clear. He said that it's not clear. I'm the inspector. We are two inspector, and then we discuss why you say it is not clear. Because for me it's clear, and then you have discussion and then make the consensus, meaning that you will arrive with one result, right? And then follow up phase, meaning that you have already the when you do the inspection meeting, you will have the report. This is the some defect in your requirement, and then you give to the one who do the requirement. The one who do the requirement, probably the business analyst. It is probably the system analyst, yeah, or probably both of this personnel, right? So you give to them, and then they do it, and then they are the author. Right? The author need the moderator need to contact the author and ask them whether it is already fixed or okay. So design inspection. So we finished about the requirement inspection. So we are going to design inspection. So it is something like the objective is the SRS and SDD compliance, meaning that the one that you have SRS is translated to the SDD, fully translated or fully transformed to the SDD, meaning that there is no thing left behind, or the SDD have something like extra information that should not be in the system. So this is something that you have to trace between the SRS and also the SDD. The traceability, design conformance to standard, right? If they have something like standard of design must be using the MVC pattern, for example. So the design should be in MVC pattern, model, view, and also the controller. You have to make to confirm this standard because it's already mentioned that we want to have this design pattern, right? Or something like when you do the interface development. Okay, they want to have something like this is the arrangement. So this is the standard of our interface. So we want to have this something like here. We want to have this standard. So you have to see it is should be comply with the one that they already mentioned, right? So prerequisite SRS, yeah, mentioned to you before. SDD is have internally reviewed, and also checklist and availability of design documentation for the case two, right? I know you. I think you know, right? What is the case two, Probably you have already used it before, guys.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what is the meaning of case here?
It's the computer-aided software, right?
Computer-aided software engineering. Yes, thank you. Right. So the design inspection. So you have a planning phase. You have same with the requirement. You have inspector background includes software engineer, QA, and also hardware engineers, right? Identification of SDD and other documentation. This is on planning phase. So you have to identify the SRS and STD, and then you have to identify the inspector, right? So that come from software engineer background, QA background, and also probably you need to have a hardware engineers background, hardware engineering background. So you have a producer presentation, inspector ask question just to know. This is in overview meeting phase, and you do the preparation phase. All the material have to hand over to the inspector, and then they have to prepare for the inspection, or they do the inspection and then prepare for the log, right? Effect log. And then when the inspection meeting, as usual, they will discuss about what they found, right? And then they make a report. Then after that, they hand over to the authors, and then the moderator need to do the follow up. Uh, what is the consequences of the report that they that he or she given to the author? Is it the defect is soft or not, right? Or the document have been modified or not, right? So code inspection, right? The objective of prerequisite is the SDD and also the compile code, right? So this is the thing that is just some estimation, right? So for 50 to 100 lines of C code per hour of preparation, normally you will take this, and also 100 to 200 lines per hour of inspection, right? So when you do the preparation is around 50 to 100 lines, right? Want to see, want to understand that, you have to you need to spend around 50 to 100 lines only per hour normally, because to understand a code, it takes some time, right? But after you understand the code, then you do inspection, then this is a bit more, right? So you can have 100 to 200 lines per hour, because you know the structure of the code uh, already, because you when you do the pre-preparation, you understand the code, and then after that, when you do the inspection, then you can have a faster inspection. Okay, normally they're given you the code, uh, they will do the inspection, right, of the code. My this is just my experience of doing this. Yeah, normally we will do the inspection. We will see all the things, right? Uh, yes, we use some tools, right? Tools that do some descriptive information about the code, how many line of code, how something like loop, how many block, right? One block, block, and block, and then after that, is there any nested loop there? There are some tools that can detect that, right? But that the tools here, normally a lot of people take tools result as the main result. This is my own experience before. Don't take that one as the whole right result, right? You need to do also a bit on manual inspection. Try to see the code itself, because sometimes, yes, they have, all codes have something like comment and comments or something like that, right? But sometimes the comment is useless. I see a lot of comments, something like to do. And what is this? This is not a comment. The comment is something like to describe what is the code, what is happening with the code, or to describe what is the usage of the code. It is not something like the thing that you need to you put to do. This is, there is some error. It's not a communication thing, right? Some people putting that thing, right? And then after that, some people did not choose the right data structure, right? They use really slow sorting technique like bubble sort. Probably they can use quick sort, right? Something that is more suitable at that situation. So this is the thing that you need to do it manually, right? So on the code inspection, it takes a lot of time, but yeah, it sometimes it's a really what call it, benefits to the user. Okay. Test script inspection, you have a test script, right? And then you accurate validation of requirement in SRS, taking advantage of known design decision. So the test script should be, before hand over to us to do the inspection, need to be reviewed. Execute test script checklist acceptable test result. So it is already acceptable, can be executed test script, and also it already internally reviewed, right? This is inspection defect types and definition, right? You have types of defect, of design defect. Function description does not meet to the requirement of the specification, right? Function description. So when you have a function, but does not meet the requirement, so this is something like we call a defect, design defect, right? Logic defect, data is missing, wrong or extra information is added in the system. So this is called the logic defect. And also syntax defect does not meet software standard requirement, right? And also we have data defect, missing, extra, wrong data definition, right? This is related to data definition, right? It is a bit different than this one. This is more extra documentation, or the logic of the system is a defect, is problematic, right? So this is more towards the data. Okay, you have interface defect, incompatible definition, format, or information exchange between two modules. So this is not the interface, the user interface, but this is the interface between module to module, right? Now you have a lot of API, you have a lot of modules, internal module. Also, you can also integrate with external module, and then this interface between two, in order to make this module communication, should be good, right? Should be it should be compatible. It is not something that module A sending something to module B cannot understand that, right? It is that one is the miscommunication between the module. So it is incompatible definition. It does define well, meaning that I define it here as the input. Sorry, the output I will give what do you call it, in text, but the one that the receiver is expecting integer, right? So this is incompatible definition, right? Format information exchange between two modules. So written code message defect, right? Incorrect or missing values message sent, right? You have a module, but you didn't do any written code, and then the one who are uh, any written code, and then yeah, the function doing nothing, or the methods itself doing nothing, right? Do some calculation, complex calculation, but you didn't return the correct uh, what call that the correct attribute, or the correct variables, right? Prologue message, the explanation accompanying the design code language is incorrect and inexplicit, or missing. This is if I can translate this. This is something, for example, it is you give a wrong message of error message, right? So sometimes error message is just pop up the message. You just copy the code message from Windows, or from some code what call that programming language error code. How the user can understand that? If I want to report to you that my system have problem now, then I give you the problem is what is the problem? Oh, the problem is XXYWK dash system battery blah 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 blah. So it is not, it's this it can be used to report, but it cannot be used to give an information to the user what is happening, what is the error of the system now, right? And then the requirement change defect, change in the requirement specification, which is direct and proximate reason to the required change in the design code, right? And then also performance improvement defect. Code will not perform in the amount of time, space, and CPU allowed. This is performance problem, right? So you are not using the optimal code to in order to get the uh, what do you call that the performance that you desire or you want, right? Or from the requirement. Sorry. Okay, defect category of SRS. So SRS, the one that I given to you, the assignment. So you need to do the SRS or the software requirement. As I mentioned to you before, I a bit open, right? You can use SRS. You can use, if you found URS, you can use URS. But BRS okay, but I'm not really encouraged to use BRS, right? So I hope that you can use URS or the SRS. Then if you get the SRS, is better. But if you don't have it, URS is also fine. Okay. So this is the defect category in SRS. There are four defects. You can have major, you can have minor, you can have a grammatical, and you can have something like question. This is something like not clear. Okay, a defect is not correct, prevent the product from meeting its requirement. Right. So this is a major defect. So if you see the defect that what call that this requirement that cannot be met, right? And this is the uh, requirement is incorrect, and that if you implement this, then you will not meet the requirement of the system, and the system will not what called that acceptable at all, right? So for minor, a defect that is not correct means the product will not meet specification, design, or standard completely, but will not prevent the product from otherwise operating or serving its purpose. It is just a minor, right? It is something like probably a requirement for the cosmetic of the software, right? The software is still okay, but probably it did not look really nice, right? So this is something like a bit minor, right? And grammatical, format, spelling, grammar error, other typos, and do not affect the meaning. And also question statement that need clarification by the author. Something that's really, really not clear. So you can have a question here. Okay, inspection initiation. Like inspection initiated upon the completion of the software design, either low or high level, or upon the completion of the first clean compiled code. Developers should not spend any time doing this checking of the product if this condition has been met, right? So the inspector do really care how many defects are found, right? Or this is the thing that I need to highlight to you. The inspector do not really care, right? How many defects are found, because some people have something like emotion, right? When they do the inspection, oh, I have found a lot of defect. Yeah, it's pity for the, yeah, the author of the system, because if I report this is, yeah, it's quite a lot, right? Then yeah, probably the author will feel bad, or yeah, probably got fired and so on. But for the inspector, you need to be professional, right? Don't really care how many defects are found, right? You just record it. Okay, be professional, right? So they are there to do job, do it professionally, as I mentioned to you before, and then return to the assigned task, right? If the defect are not found in inspection, it's fine, right? If it is not found, you don't force yourself to try to get all the to get the defect, right? Because the defect may be found in the testing. Okay. So inspection prerequisite. I think this is something that I repeat again, right? The team technically competent, yeah. Trained inspector, trained moderator also have to be trained. Proper planning, professional attitude, full preparation is good prepared, right? All the materials in time, right? In time, and all is complete, right? And also completed design and cleanly compiled code. When you get it, it is not something like you get the rubbish from the author, right? And updated resource requirement, right? So it should be all should be in updated manner, right? So, and also the inspection team, right? Establish the team. Moderator have the responsibility, and then it limited to no more than 5 people, right? It should be small, okay? Not more than 5 people. Inspection team duties, right? Inspection team include moderator, author, depending on which type of inspection, right? And then responsibility of moderator prior to the inspection meeting. What he have to do is completion of SWQE, software quality engineering engineer training course, right? Determine whether entry criteria is met or not, right? Entry criteria, all inspector is there, or the inspector already something like gone for training, and then the documentation, the material, all is there. So this is something that they have to make sure that is already uh, prepared, right? Work with an author, right? With the author of the system, right? To establish the team membership, preview the material for conformance standard, ensure the team size and mix is proper, right? Some people expert in this in the domain, some people expert in the technical side. It is something like a mix of all the expertise, right? Ensure that at least 5 working days of the preparation, right? So you can have only use 5 working days, and also ensure proper materials are distributed. You give only the material that they need to inspect. Don't put a lot of information. And then they say that, yeah, this is a lot. There should be something that is appropriate. And the inspection team, right? During the inspection meeting, uh, assure adequate attendance, right? You come, right? And then all the team need to be exist to present, right? Assure adequate preparation. If not prepared, meaning that probably you don't have the updated material from the author of the system, then you need to postpone it, right? Lead the inspection meeting. The moderator log the defect and also require inspection for major defect. If you find a major defect, then you require an inspection, right? So probably re-inspection. Okay. After the inspection, okay, review result with author, provide manager with estimate of the rework completion data, eliminate duplicate defect, log entries, send inspection to the software quality engineer, right? And then add inspection summary, verify correction, right? Notice the quality, uh, and then also log open item in software quality notebook or open issue log, right? This is the thing that is the inspection teams need to do. Okay, right? So review with the author what you found. Okay, eliminate duplicate defect, meaning that inspector one have also uh, uh, found the defect. Inspector two also found the defect, and then you need this is duplicate, right? The same defect, and then you can make only one. Okay. Prior responsibility to the author. This is the author. Who is the author? The one who developed the system, right? So they have to prepare the material, right? Review the material, provide the cover page. It is not something that, okay, now this is my uh, requirement. So you need to have a bit proper which version of your requirement. This is the document version, which version, who are the authors, right? Date, this is today or yesterday, this is finished yesterday. who are doing the approval, right? It is already approved or not. It is not something that this is my requirement, then that's it. You have to have a really provide a cover page with all included material, right? This is URS and this is the SRS. This is all the things have to be in proper way, right? It is not just documentation. Yes, this is yours. No, you have to make a cover page for all to know what is the material, right? Prepare for the review. Okay, so if want to be is the one you have to prepare for review. You do some review or what call that? Give some overview. Work with the moderator to schedule time to place for meeting, right? Work with moderator to establish team membership and also produce material distribution package in timely manner. Okay, and also after inspection, this is before inspection, right? This is after inspection. Complete all rework required, right? You get after the inspection, you get the things that you need to rework. Then you do the all rework, verify the fixes, right? And verify to moderator that changes have been made. Okay, guide the team through the material during the meeting, right? Paraphrase, verbalize the review material. So this is the responsible of the reader. So reader is somehow something like the representative of the authors, right? So we don't want to have author in the meeting. We only want to have the reader in the meeting. The reader has to understand all the materials, right? And then he or she must be able to explain what is this, right? Or what is the material itself. And then he or she will go through all, and then the inspector will give the feedback that, okay, line one, we have problem with this. Line, okay, go for line two. Then he will paraphrase that, okay, line two is for blah, 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 blah. And then after that, the uh, inspector will say that, okay, in line two, we have problem with this, problem with this and this. Okay? So this is the reader. So present the material, as I mentioned to you before, and clarity and understand, right? With clarity and understand, and be able to tie back to the specification or the design. So he will answer if inspector saying that which for this line, which is the requirement that is involved, then they say, okay, this is requirement, sorry, this is the code, and go to the design to the requirement. So this is the thing that the reader should do, right? He know where is he know how to trace the source of requirement. Okay, fulfill normal inspector responsibilities, right? So the reader should not be the author. So this is the thing that we need to know. We don't want to have any bias in the meeting because it's normal, as you already mentioned to me, right? That the author is normally defensive, right? They think that the work product they produce or that they develop is perfect, is good as it is, right? So responsible of all authors attend the training, thoroughly review the material, understand of function, right? And then record defects and also record the inspection meeting preparation time, right? And also this is the manager, as I mentioned to you before, establish the schedule and also allow adequate review time and resulting follow-up, right? This is the manager's role, right? Because when you do the inspection, probably the project will a bit uh, delay, right? And then they have to allocate time, right? Manager have to allocate time. Okay, we need to do inspection for this, right? So we need to fit in the project schedule that we have, and then he has to manage that, right? So manager has to do that. Okay, and then ensure that all team members are aware with the inspection procedure. Meet with the moderator and author to review open item. So moderator is now is the one who bring all the defect and then discuss with the author. And we need to have manager there in order, because normally the moderator don't have any power to force the author or to force the developer to change that, but the manager have. So we need to have this guy to join the discussion, right? Monitor individual inspection time, right? So all the inspector, you need to also monitor. You need to ask them, have you finished the inspection or not, and so on, right? So review the software quality engineering defect summary report for defect trends and perform defect trend analysis, right? So manager have to see the trend analysis of the defect of of his own software project. Okay. Mechanics of inspection, right? The team must reach consensus on issue recorded as error and defects, right? This is the thing that need to have, right? All the inspector need to have a consensus, meaning they have to agree that this is a defect. So error is a problem, right? Sometimes some error is not a really big problem or it's a major. So this is something that they have to discuss, right? Lack of compliance with the requirements identified at the point of origin. Defect is found beyond the point of origin. Design problem identified in the code, right? So probably you are doing code inspection, but the defect is actually is design problem. It is not the code itself. It's design problem. So this is defect is found beyond the point of origin, right? It is not in the code itself. It is come from something else, right? And then the author doesn't get to vote, right? The author doesn't get to vote. The author cannot give the vote, right? Inspection meeting should be limited to 2 hours, right? Not more than that. As I mentioned to before, at that time, it is not the place to do the thorough inspection. The thorough inspection should be done in the pre-preparation. This meeting is just to have a consensus between all of the inspectors. Okay. Posting result of individual inspection meeting is controversial, right? So consider posting aggregate result, support quality improvement without personalizing the guilt, right? It is not, you are not finding the people who find the fault of people, right? It's the matter of the product, right? So inspection is complete when all the problem reports are closed, right? It is not something that inspection is complete after you do the inspection. Inspection is complete after you do the inspection. You give to the author fixed it, and he proved the defect is fixed. Then the inspection is completed. Okay, the rework phase is completed. Okay, guys. Do you have any questions so far, guys?
Doctor,
Yep.
as you said just now, the author must not be the reader, right?
Yes. Yes.
So what if I'm as a developer and I
Mhm.
want to make and I am also a reader, means the project is for me.
Mhm.
I am among the author, and the project is for me. So I am both the reader and the author.
No, you cannot do that, Shazwan.
Okay.
Yeah, you cannot do that because you have to find someone that be a reader, right? Someone that probably something like represent the author in the meeting. It could you cannot be in the meeting because you will have what do you call that a lot of influence to the author to the inspector.
Okay, doctor.
Okay. So the topic discussion, we'll have it later, I think. So this is the last slide for the course for this chapter, right? So this is to discussion that probably we can make it later, right? And then do you have any questions so far before I wrap up this chapter? No. Okay. So what we have learned in
So
this chapter? Yep.
the test is on Friday, right? From 8 to 9.
Yes.
Uh,
Uh,
which chapters are gonna be in it?
chapter 1 and 2
Okay, sir. Thank you.
only, not included. This chapter not included.
Okay, okay, sir.
So what we have learned before in this product assurance, right? We are talking about product assurance, right? So what we have learned here is the SQA, right? We define what is the product assurance, right? And then we also have a review about learn about the VNV, right? What is the definition of VNV, and then what is the different VNV and also the SQA, right? And also we discuss a bit on the model, okay? So and then the principle of VNV. This is something that probably you need to remember always, right? Errors should be detected as early as possible. Okay, so the benefit of VNV, if you are doing the VNV, what is the benefit, right? And then remember, you need to know how to differentiate. Okay, the SQA and quality assurance, and also the VNV. Yeah, right. So VNV is more towards the uh, the phases, right? The phases in the software development. But the QA is something that the one that you do it every day, right? Every day in your work. Something like, for example, if you the coding need to be commented, right? This is something like quality of the that everyday life that you have to do as a developer, right? Okay, so what is the VNV techniques, right? So this is all the VNV techniques. We have informal, we have static, dynamic, and also we have a formal one. So you need to know what is formal, right? What is formal, what is informal, what is static, what is the dynamic. So the one that we are go through a bit more detail here in this course is we go through the inspection, right? The one that the simple one, informal one is inspection, something that is small group, right? A small group of inspection that focus on small. It's not small thing. It is more focused on one thing, right? It is not a lot of things you have to do inspection. It is something that I'll really focus on. So manually examining, right? It is manually examining the development product. As I mentioned to you before, product don't think about only the software, the working software. The work product or the product itself is already also included the documentation, for example, the manuals, the operating procedure, the the software development documentation, SRS, SDD, and so on. So all the things related to the software is a software product. Okay. So it is manually examining the product, as I mentioned to you before, a piece at a time, small groups of peer to ensure it is correct, conform to product specification and requirement. Okay. So this is inspection. Why is it effective to get what call that to get the defect or to find the defect, and what is the primary purpose, and also the inspection phases. Right. This is inspection phases, and not all will use this, right? And then you can I've mentioned to you before, the inspection is based on the one that you want to inspect, then we will take this, right? Inspection. Probably normally we have planning. Sometimes we don't no need to have overview, right? But we need to have preparation. Inspection meeting is a must, and also we need to rework, or sometimes rework is not there. It's just a follow up, right? So we have already discussed this just now. So the participants who are responsible in the team, right? Moderator, producer, reader, inspector, uh, recorder, and also the manager. Okay. So planning, this is overview, preparation, inspection meeting, rework, and follow up. Right? What the thing that we can inspect. This is the thing that we can do the inspection. Right? Requirement, design code, and also the testing. Okay. And then the requirement inspection, this is the thing that you need to know, right? How to uh, inspect the unambiguous, complete, and so on. So the one that I mentioned to you uh, in your assignment, that you need to do the checklist of this all the attributes, and then you have to um, you need to do the inspection of the requirement. Okay. So this is a requirement inspection. What is the objective, right? And then we go for the design inspection, the objective, and also the phases that should be there in the design inspection, and also the code inspection, right? And last one is the test script inspection, right? So this is the defect type that you can probably can found, right? The design defect and so on, interface defect, right? And also the defect category in the SRS, right? Software requirement. So it can be a major defect, minor defect, grammatical error, and also a question. So this is the inspection initiation, inspection prerequisite. Before you do the inspection, this is the thing that you need to know, you need to have, right, in order to conduct the inspection. And then the inspection team, what is the what do you call it, responsibility of the inspection team. This is the responsibility of the moderator. And during the inspection, the moderator what have to do, and after the inspection meeting, what he have or she have to do. So this is the responsibility of the author, what the author need to do, right? We know that the author is the author of the system, right? And then it shouldn't be a reader, right? So reader is the one who understand the system, understand the work product, understand the material that is given that are given to the inspector, and then he be able to understand it and be able to explain to the author during the inspection meeting. Okay, the author is not should be a reader, right? Because we don't want to have any bias in the inspection result. Okay, so responsibility of the all inspector, right? Should have a training class. They should be competent, right? Thoroughly review, record, and so on. Okay, so what is the responsibility of the manager? The manager have to be the one who force the defect. What do you call that? Defect rework action. Okay, this is the mechanic of inspection, right? So must reach to consensus, right? Error is problem, right? So they need to mention that, okay, some people say that this error is, yeah, this is not a problem, it's just a simple one. Probably they mentioned about this is a minor one, but one people saying that it's a major one. So this is something that you need to have in consensus, right? They have to discuss the result. Okay, mechanics are limited to 2 hours, and inspection is complete when all the reports are closed. And this is some discussion that we can move this discussion in the next session. Okay, thank you guys. This is the chapter 3. And then uh, as I promised to you before, we will discuss about your assignment and also the test number 1. Okay, first assignment. So assignment I've already put in your Putra Blast. Again, in your Putra Blast. Okay, if you have any question, let me know. If it is not clear, the instruction is not clear, or you don't have you are you don't understand it, right? Just let me know. Okay, first you need before 25th of November, you need to find the SRS. Okay, probably I need to put it there. Okay, so this is the thing that I have given to you, guys, right? So in this assignment, you need to work in a team of 3 to 4 people to perform a self-assessment of software requirement document, improve the software requirement document, and perform the independent inspection. Okay, so first, the task number 1. Okay, you can choose any domains. All right, you can choose get a requirement documentation, right? Any domains, healthcare, mobile application, any registration system, anything is open. All right. So the software requirement document should be more than 20 pages. It's not more than 20 pages. It should be more than 20 pages. Right. It is not a really simple one. Okay. So software requirement documentation can be a URS or BRS and SRS. As I mentioned to you before, I prefer to have SRS, the second one URS, and the least one is BRS. Right? So I really encourage to have SRS and also URS. Okay. So each group from both section, your section and also another section, right? So because we have 2 sections, should not use the same requirement document. So please send your information of the requirement document using this link to be approved by me, the instructor. Okay, before 25th of November. So this is the first come first serve basis. It's a first come first serve basis. If I found duplication, then I will not approve it. So the one who gave the title earlier and also the description earlier, I will approve it because it is not duplicate to anyone, right? So as fast as you can, just put all the SRS and also the description of the SRS in this link, please, before 25th of November. Task number 2, you have to perform self-assessment. The one that you have to do the self-assessment. As I mentioned to you before, this should be assessed first by the author. So you are now act as the author of the system. You have to make sure that the requirement document is already good, right? Perform a self-assessment and before the original copy, you need to send it to me before you do the self-assessment. And conduct the assessment of the software requirement document, improve the software requirement document, and also create a summary of improved document. So what you have improved, you make a summary, right? But this summary should be not, you should send it to me, but not to the one who do the inspection. Exchange the software requirement with another group, right? Choose one group that you want to collaborate with, and then exchange the software requirement document with the group, right? You try to find one group, and then you exchange the document. You take their document, and they take your document, and then after that, they have to perform an external inspection. So send a copy of the exchange to the instructor before 5th of December, right? And then do the inspection, perform the document inspection, and then create an inspection report. Okay, the deliverable, the one that you have to hand over is software requirement specification, task 2A, right? Improve software requirement specification, task 3C, and also inspection report. This one, week number 10 before 23rd of December, and you need to do a presentation in week 10. Okay, guys?
Sir,
Yes.
so first, do we need to submit you the SRS we chose before doing inspection on it?
Yes.
Oh,
That one is in task number 2. But first, you need to give a title of your requirement and a requirement document, and also the abstract or short description of the document.
okay, sir. So for the two, we need to submit you the SRS before we do any change or self-assessment.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this is the group. Okay, the one that given me the what do you call that the title. So I will try to lecturer room, online website, web publishing system, master program management, air traffic control. Okay, so I give a yes, yes, and yes. So no duplication, right? So the one who given me this is already approved here. So you can just uh, continue that, right? So I'm waiting for uh, other group to put it here. Okay. Okay, guys. Understand? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
doctor.
Okay. To make your report is a bit easier. Uh, Later a bit, I will give you the something like a template of report probably.
Yes, sir.
I hope that can help you, right? I will give it to you later. So something like a template, and then you put all the requirement and also uh, the defect that you found. I will give you later. But first, please complete the task number 1 and task number 2 this week, right? So give it to me.
We submit it through Putra Blast or we email it to you.
Submit it to through Putra Blast.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right.
Doctor, Doctor,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yanis.
one question. So what are the activities that fall under task 2B? How do we refer? Where do we refer?
Okay, conduct self-assessment. You can
Oh,
refer to the notes.
oh, is it? Okay.
Okay, so the notes, and also because it's software requirement specification, I think that you already know how to do that, right?
Oh, so the requirement inspection lah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If it is required, I can make a review for requirement specification inspection.
Okay.
Wait, I try to find. Uh, is there any? Okay, wait for. Okay, guys, I need to stop recording first because this is not related to the course. Stop recording. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, this is something that this is for formulating a requirement specification. Um, this is the thing that you need to know. This is the requirement templates from IEEE. This is from EARS, RUPS, and also Agile. This is the characteristic of individual requirement, uh, ambiguous, complete, singular, feasible, verifiable, testable, correct, conforming. This is the set of requirement, complete, consistent, feasible, comprehensive, able to validate. Right? This is all the things. This is the language criteria. You shouldn't use best word, most the user friendly, something like the interface should be user friendly. This is a really vague. The software should be easy to use. That is not really good, right? And an ambiguous term, almost always, something like that. That is not uh, a good one. And then comparative imply requirement attributes what should be in the requirement. This is the thing that actually should be in your what do you call that, inspection. So if you inspection towards the IEEE 830, this is the thing that need to see. If you are doing the 29148, this is the thing that you need to see. This is the BRS template. This is the STRS template. This is the SYRS software requirement, and this is the SRS. So okay. Okay, guys, that one is the requirement. If you want me to what call that to review that, I'm happy to help you.
So, sir, we will use that slide to conduct the self-assessment, right?
Sorry,
We will use the slides you just showed to conduct the self-assessment. We'll follow the instructions on that slides.
if you can understand that slide, then I'm happy to give it to you.
Okay, sir, I think it would be helpful if you give us the slides.
Okay, okay, good. Right, I will give that slides in Putra Blast. Okay, so you can just see the slide. Okay. Um, Next, any questions so far, guys?
Doctor, before you mentioned you wanna have an extra class for the requirement thing just now.
So that's the slide that I need
Oh,
I will use. But you want me to give only the slide or make a short
a short class
re
is better.
short class?
Yeah, it's like it'll be more clear lah, I think.
Okay. So we will have a short class of that slide later.
Okay, okay.
I
Thank you.
think next what call that next
Wednesday.
yeah on Wednesday.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, guys. Let me open the presentation. Wait. Guys,
Doctor, about
yeah.
submission,
Mm-hmm.
because you are, as I see right now, you only open for group assignment 1 submission,
Mm-hmm.
and this one is for all tasks, right?
For all tasks, yeah.
So is it task 1 a different person and task 2 different person to submit the assignment?
I'm hoping that only one.
Oh, okay, doctor.
Okay. Wait. Mm. Okay. I think finish for your what do you call that mm, assignment. Okay. Now we are talking about your test. Okay. Again, the test will be on Friday, 27th of November, 8 p.m. at night until 9 p.m. But however, I got a message that some of you have 3 exams. at that day? Guys,
Yes, Doctor, it's me.
only you or all?
I don't know about others.
What about others?
I think
I have two, doctor.
I have two also.
Yeah.
So I think it should be manageable, right? Two paper on
Yes.
Friday. Two paper on Friday, including my paper, right?
Yes,
Yes.
doctor.
Okay, we continue with our plan, because if all have three papers, yes, I have to consider it, right? Because I don't want to have a really burden for you, but two papers is manageable. Okay. Sorry, Ahmad. I need to continue this.
it's okay, Doctor.
Okay. So this is the software quality. We are talking about the first chapter, right? So remember we have this. Okay. The questions is normally sorry. I will You will not find question that that you can just directly get from the notes, right? Because yeah, normally we will have something like question that we have to remember, right? You have to remember the terms and so on, but not in your online, right? So you have to think a bit, right? You have to do some thinking on how to answer this question, in question number in test one. Okay, remember it's 15 marks of your total score in your for this course, right? So I asked you about something about the quality concept, right? So I give you some probably what call that a statement that you have to agree or not agree whether is okay or not, right? Depending on the software quality culture and so on. Okay. So probably something like about the quality definition, right? And then sometimes I ask you if sorry, if it is this mean what you need to elaborate more. What is this? Some meaning of this definition, right? And then cost of quality. Yes, you need to know how to calculate that. And then what else? A quality model. Okay. You need to know about quality model. One question about quality model. Uh, process quality. Also quality improvement. Okay. You need to understand about quality improvement and also the software safety. You need to understand. Okay. I really encourage you to answer any questions. Please don't leave it blank. I really hate that, right? I'm a human, okay? I'm doing the correction by manual. I'm not using any tools. I'm using manual. And then the empty, what I call that, empty answer will a bit affect my emotion. Sorry to say that, right? I try to be professional, but I really hate empty uh, answer. So write something that probably I can give you some marks, please. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Doctor,
Yep.
is the exam is based on the slide or is it like problem solving
Problem solving is mixed. Some you can,
mix?
yeah, it's a mix. some is from the slides, but from the slide also it is not really direct, meaning you have to explain because you see your slide is really something like what call that uh, simplified, right? And then you need to you need to explain more about it, right? As for example, okay, example, something like uh, software quality. This is the definition. Example, definition of software quality. Software quality from operational meaning, it can be a user are happy. So how to achieve this user are happy? From what sense the software quality can make user are happy?
It has to be responsive.
Mm-hmm. Responsive. That one is not really correct. User are happy when all the requirement is met, right? And then software quality is about to meet the requirement. So this is something that, for example, right? This is the example answer. Can get it, guys?
Sir, can you repeat it? I couldn't hear you.
Okay. For example, software quality. So in operational meaning, software quality can be user are happy. This is the definition of software quality in operational meaning, something like that. So how we can get how we can get the user are happy?
Requirements, right?
Yeah. So as I mentioned to you before, because user are happy because the software meet the requirement that the user already stated, right? So it is
Yes.
not it is not really explicit here, but you have to think how yeah. Let's say okay, we get we changes are not too expensive. So the software quality means changes are not too expensive. So how software quality can make changes are not too expensive?
Cost management,
Sorry,
maybe like cost management.
less bugs, right? Cost yeah, because less bugs, and then changes are and also sorry, changes are not too expensive because we have a quality, something like a maintainability and so on, right?
More
Okay,
modularity.
sorry.
The software is created with more modularity, so that's what
Yeah,
you mean.
modularity, yes, good. Scalability, because quality, there is a quality attributes of that, right? Okay, so I for the cost, yeah, value cost. This is uh, should be related to give you something like uh, a situation, and then you have to calculate that, right? So you have to prepare for that. Okay, for also for software safety and so on. Okay, software safety you need to prepare for that. Okay, next is chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 is about standards, right? So yeah, some definition of standard, because I will ask you about some definition about standard, because here is something like you need to know the term standard. Okay, and then I think there is no question about the history of the standard. Okay, so benefit of standard, right? You know how how we by using standard, how can I achieve this benefit? So be prepared on it, right? So what is quality management system? What else? Some certification of standard. Think about a bit on ISO. What else? A Malaysian standard. Okay. Yeah. And then you should be in your mind that it is not really straightforward. You need to understand that. I really ask you to understand this because I cannot give you the I cannot ask you the one that you have to remember. It is more towards the one you have to think. Okay, and make sure that your notes is available and then you can easily access, whether you print it, right, or you put in different device and so on. So make sure that you are really fast on finding the related place of the answer. Okay, that's all, guys. Any question for the test?
Do we have to write it in hand, or we can write either in hand or word?
You can write by your own handwriting and then snap it and then put it in Putra Blast, right? And also you can type it on the Microsoft Word, and you can also type in the answer column in the because we will use uh, assignment feature in Putra Blast. You can also put your answer in the assignment what called answer there. How many questions? Okay, the questions if I'm not mistaken 14 to 15 question. Guys,
Okay, okay.
okay.
Doctor, can you repeat again how many questions? I cannot hear.
If I'm not mistaken 15 or 14 to 15.
Oh, okay, for 1 hour and a half.
One hour 20 minutes. Actually
Indonesia.
the official hour is one, but I have to make it in three parts. So every part you have to submit it in timely manner, meaning every part around 20 minutes. But I will give you around 5 minutes to submit.
Sir, how many marks? Total marks?
Total marks will be 45, but the marks that is for this exam is 15. So 45 marks for the marks for the paper, but actually it's a 15 marks for your total score. So when I got 45, then I have to divide it by 3. If we suddenly have unstable connection, can we get extra time to send it? Yes, you can have an extra time, but I will give you only 5 minutes to upload in the Putra Blast. Okay. If anyone have problem with that, so you need to snap your answer and then send it by WhatsApp to me.
So we snap the answers and just WhatsApp it to you.
Yeah, if you have internet connection
Okay.
problem. But if
Otherwise,
you
we
have,
just
yeah,
submit it to
sorry.
Putra Blast, right?
Yeah. The what called that? It is should be in Putra Blast. Any more questions, guys?
No, doctor.
Okay, all the best. I hope that you understand that. Understand all the chapter 1 and chapter 2. It is more about understandability. and then also answer the question, what do you call that, in essay. Okay, it's not point form. Okay, guys, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can ask me on coming Wednesday. So coming when we already finished chapter 3, but Wednesday we will review the requirement, what do you call that, revision on requirement, right? So how to formulate the requirement, and that one can be your checklist. Okay, thank you very much, guys. See you again.
Sir.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Doctor.